Good afternoon. Today I will be making a chicken stew. I have spiced up the flavour of our chicken with spicy chicken seasoning and a little bit of flour dusted. We have onions, carrots, parsnip, leeks, chicken stock, potatoes in the top pot and oil to warming up at the moment. I am preheating our Mr. D thermal cooker so that it will increase the amount of heat given to the food, because you don't want to be putting a hot pot into a cold insulated vacuum flask. I will start off with my pre-chopped onions in true Blue Peter style. I have prepared all the ingredients in advance so that all I have to do is add them in at the necessary stages. So we will bring the onions on cooking until they are starting to clarify a little bit, and that will sort of take the sharpness out of them. Another reason why you want to have your preparations done beforehand of filming is you do not need to see me tearing up with onions. So they'll be coming along nicely. Next I'll be adding in the chicken just to brown that off a little bit and get the temperatures up. And then I'll be adding in the root vegetables and the chicken stock. Now I have 500 ml of chicken stock made up, which I'm hoping will be sufficient to cover all the ingredients once they are in the pot. If necessary, I can top them up with additional water before I transfer into the Mr. D thermal cooker, and then leave it to cook for itself for the next couple of hours. Now, chicken is one thing I do not risk when I'm cooking. Not getting the temperatures right, because I am not going to be responsible for giving my family food poisoning. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll just add in the stock here because we are starting to stick with the heat. And it just makes it easier for me to move the ingredients around if they are floating, and also it helps with transference of heat as well. So I'll do this until the chickens all turn opaque, and hopefully I'll get this job done before my husband has to do a Zoom meeting in the next room. And the joys of working from home during lockdown, as we are currently in Ireland and we've gone on to our second lockdown. Ireland is currently at level 3 out of 5 levels, level 5 being a complete lockdown like we had back in March, thanks to the old virus that is plaguing our lives at the moment. So I like stews and casseroles and things like that for thermal cooking because they are easy to do, they're yummy to eat. You can have them in winter time or even summer, and I am practicing my Mr. D thermal cooking over the winter time because I had just bought this before the end of our sailing season and I want to be proficient so I can rustle up a delicious meal after a day of sailing with absolutely no effort. Now my son, the youngest of which, I have three, the youngest of which does not like casserole foods, so I have kept his chicken separate and I'll cook that to his liking later on. Thankfully, myself and my husband are not that fussy. So we have a much more interesting palate than he does. Anyway, coming along nicely. We are, if you can hear that, we're just starting to come up to a nice hot simmer, borderline boiling, which is getting us up to the temperatures that I need. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am pre-warming the outer shell of the thermal cooker using boiling water. Not a huge amount, just enough to get the temperature up. And I will tip that out before I transfer into the pot. And we can cook away. As you can see, I have my potatoes in the top pot, so they can be separate. So at least I'll have potatoes for my son's dinner, and we'll go from there. So this is coming on lovely. And I might actually require a little bit more water once the vegetables go in. I will have a better idea once I slide them in now. Bubbling away, and the smells, oh, if only you could smell. There has to be an easier way of doing this, single-handed. Oh well. Thank God for clean surfaces. Trying to retrieve escaped vegetables. Anyway, oops, there's one left. 30 seconds up. Yeah, I think we're okay. Volume wise for our fluid levels, because I don't want to be left with too much either, and the Mr. D does not evaporate any liquids off whilst it's cooking, so you don't want to be left with goop either, too much. I know you could use it as a stock for another sauce as well, or for soup. You have a base to work off. But that is basically us ready to roll now. And I'll just bring that up to the boil and then let it simmer for a number of minutes before I transfer it into our Mr. D thermal cooker. this little beauty over here. Now, hopefully my husband will like this as much as my first foray into thermal cooking, whereby he asked for seconds. I was like, yay. And then double advantage of I haven't killed him first. But anyway, yeah, we're getting ready to be able to transfer over. So I'm just going to tip out the boiling water out of the base of the Mr. D thermal cooker. Now that it has had a number of minutes to pre-cook, or sorry, preheat, sorry, not pre-cook. I want to make sure all the meat is well down and well covered. Actually, I might just add in another little smidgeen of, I have some boiled water here. Just to be sure that everything is fully covered. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. I wish you had smell-o-vision. This is brilliant. So I'm just going to let that simmer away for a minute. So it is 12:25 now. My son comes home from school at 4 o'clock. Perfect timing. So I'll leave that to cook, and I'll pop my potatoes there in on top. I'll put my lid on, and then I'll transfer over to Mr. D and let the whole lot cook up lovely, and we'll have dinner in about 4.5 hours. Okay, take care, God bless. I'll show you the finished results later.